All right. So is lust just a I want to do the sex to a person, or can lust be I want to do it to something not a person?
Okay, so we say, or just to make sure I'm hearing you right. So are you saying, is lust just the action to a person, or can lust be that I want to have a sexual act with a goat? Is that what you're asking?
Well, not like a goat, because I get that's also a different topic. But like, if I American Pie,
okay.
You know what I mean? How am I going to say this on the podcast? Like, if I wanted to, a cupcake.
Okay. Okay.
Like,
all right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, you want a cupcake?
Like, if there was a object,
right, that you were sexually lusting
after.
Okay.
That I then acted upon.
Okay.
Sexually too.
Okay.
Like.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
right.
the VCR. Right. You know what I mean? Okay. Is that bad? Is that harming? I mean, it's not harming the VCR unless I break the VCR. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Lord. You ask some of the craziest questions. All right. So,
like if that's going through my brain,
right.
Is that lust, or does it have to be a human being?
Okay. No, it can be anything that has been created.
Okay.
Yeah.
So including the goat.
Including the goat.
Okay.
Yeah, including the goat, including the VCR, all of that. So that's kind of what Paul begins talking about in Romans 1.
Okay.
Is actually something similar to that. So let me go to Romans 1 real quick and put some biblical context to what you're asking.
I grew up in the 90s.
Right.
There were VCRs everywhere.
VCRs were everywhere. You were using VCRs very differently than I was. All right, so Romans 1. All right, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
For though they knew God, they did not glorify him as God or show gratitude.
Okay.
Instead, their thinking became worthless, and their senseless hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools, and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images resembling mortal man, birds, four-footed animals, and reptiles. Therefore, God delivered them over in the desires of their hearts to sexual impurity, so that their bodies were degraded among themselves. They exchanged the truth of God for a lie, and worshipped and served what has been created instead of the Creator. And I think so. A couple of things in
like
this.
Idols.
Yeah, but it's actually not just idols, because in verse 24 it talks about that God delivers them over to the lust of their hearts, to sexual impurity, so that their bodies were degraded among themselves. And before that, he talks about their thinking became worthless, their senseless hearts were darkened. In other words, that anytime this desire, this lust, okay, is put toward something or someone that's outside of the context of a covenant marriage relationship,
okay,
it's actually showing the depravity within us, because God's turning them over not to something else, but to the desires that's actually already there within them. And so,
okay,
yeah, and then verse 20.
So this verse literally is talking about anything else that you lust after at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he talks.
So my question wasn't that far off then.
No, it actually wasn't. Just the framing of it was
okay.
Funny. All right, so but verse 26. says, for this reason, God delivered them over to disgraceful passions or disgraceful lust.
Okay.
And so in other words, it's this continuing part of God turning people over unto to themselves,
Okay.
to the baseness of themselves. And verse 28 is kind of like the final part of that, and says, because they did not think it worthwhile to acknowledge God, God delivered them over to a corrupt mind so that they do what is not right. They are filled with all unrighteousness, etc. And so I think that what you see in this is this continual part of God turning us over to our own selves.
Okay.
Yeah.